All right, here we are, week 179, back in the fish room after a lovely, I think it was 12 days away in total, to Komodo, which is an island in Indonesia, which I've put a video out of the dive in. It was amazing. So very good. After the trip to the Maldives in June, which I was pretty upset about the state of the reefs, it was really nice to go somewhere and see some very healthy, vibrant coral reefs, some massive corals, great fish. Yeah, it's just really good. So it's nice. So that was the highlight. Obviously, the downside of having a reef tank, as anyone knows, is going away always brings some stress about how your tank's doing. So my wife's looking after the tank. She did a great job, kept it nice and clean. She even topped up my calc stirrer with some calc. She topped the tank off. She filled up the RO for the spawning tank to make sure that didn't run out, because it's only got a 25 litre drum on it. Probably would have been all right, but she's fine. So she just topped that up. So yeah, so great. Unfortunately, unforeseen circumstances. So two things happened which has caused a couple of frags to strip and die, and my goni to, it is very slowly coming back by the looks of it, but proper sulking. So the first thing that happened was, and I really don't understand how, it's amazing, isn't it? So what's this tank been up for about 4 years now, and the situation that occurred the day after I left is so unique. It's never happened. So apparently what occurred was the level in the sump dropped to such a degree where at the end of the sump I've got two basically holes which come out, drop down into my external return pumps. Now, one of them comes up before it goes down. Shit plumbing, yeah, I admit that. So sometimes I've done it myself. If I do a water change and I forget how much I'm taking out and don't balance what I'm putting in, and the sump level drops, it sucks in air, and because that pipe goes up before it goes down, it can get an airlock in it. So I've done it myself, probably only twice to be fair, but it's never done it on its own. So I don't really know why, but it's either that the filter roll stopped working, even though it was working when I returned. So because all of the water has to go through the filter fleece, there's no bypass on that sump. So Royal Exclusive don't allow you to bypass the filter. Everything that goes through the sump goes through the filter fleece. I'd have to plumb round it if I wanted to do it. It was a bit of a fact. So anyway, so what happens is obviously as the particulate matter blocks the filter, the water level rises. And normally what it should do as it rises, it hits the sensor, turns the roll on, everything's good. Sometimes if that sensor doesn't switch on, then you have to wait for the water to go all the way up, and then at the top there's a hole cut in which is like an emergency overflow, and the water all goes round and back. But why it's hitting that fleece at that angle and slowly coming up, the water behind it obviously is, because that's not getting through, is dropping. So that is potentially one of the ways that that water dropped to a level sufficient enough that the return pumps have sucked in air, and then it didn't have a full airlock because both the return pumps are still running, but the second I came into the fish room when I got back from holiday, I just, when you can just tell by the sound something's off, and they were whirring at a sort of high pitch. I felt them, they were warmer than they normally are, and when I put my fingers in front of the returns, it was like the gentlest of flows. It was like 5%. So I said to the missus, because it's changed the water level, the weir and obviously the overflows in the weir box were sucking, just making a hell of a noise. And I just went, how long's that been making that noise? I went, oh, it's like the second day after you left we did that, and it's done it the whole time you've been away. If you don't run a tank, you don't think any of it, you just think it's a natural thing. So that was that. So basically the tank turnover the whole time I've been away has been minuscule, really. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is I changed the CO2 by using a fire extinguisher. Now, I've never used a fire extinguisher before on my calcium reactor. I've got a little CO2 bottle which I normally buy, but these are super cheap because they're only like £10, whereas the bottle is, I think it's like nearly £40 to like swap it for a new one. So I thought I'll give it a go. I put it on a few days before I left, a week maybe before I left, just to check it was all right. I mean, it's a CO2 bottle, it's one nut. I mean, it's not exactly complicated, is it? I hit the trigger, I zip tied it together. So I think what's happened here is because these are designed to obviously expel all the CO2 like in a massive burst really quickly, I think it leaked basically through either where the regulator seal was on here. I probably could have put some PTF tape on there or something, PTF TB tape or whatever that tape is. Yes, so it stopped working. When I came back, there was no CO2 going into the calcium reactor. So I don't know how soon that had run out, but knowing my luck, it ran out the second I shut the front door to leave. So I've had no calcium reactor working properly while I'm away and hardly any tank turnover. And so the consequences are I've lost a couple of frags and my goni is on a very, I mean, if you look at that picture, the one at the front, it's weird, isn't it? Because there's two gonis there, three gonis there, four gonis actually, all in that same little spot. Two small ones you can't see in the picture. One at the front, loving life, completely unaffected. One behind it, massive sulk. So, but it has started to come back. So I'm hoping very slowly that it will come back now that obviously I've done a big water change. Obviously I've put a new CO2 bottle on the calcium reactor. I don't know what the sump level thing was about because I haven't really changed anything there. I mean, the only other thing, if it wasn't the filter roller sticking, maybe, and then I don't know, it freed itself. I'm clutching at straws here, really, with these explanations. The only other thing I thought it could have been is the auto water change may have gone out of sync, in which case it's taken out. I mean, that's probably the more likely scenario, to be fair, and it's just taken out more water than it's putting in. Because my wife did top the tank up with salt water she said she did it about 5 times because the levels kept dropping. So that would suggest that it just went out of balance. I mean, it's just amazing, really, because I've monitored that for months now, and it was pretty bang on when I left. Specifically, I wanted to make sure it was good because I wanted to carry on doing the water changes. And then something, so I don't know whether something, I've got a tiny little, like an RO sized gate valve on the inlet pipe to the fresh salt water. Because the pipes are slightly different lengths, it just, I mean, it's micro adjustments, but obviously over time it does build up. So I don't know whether something got stuck in there or, I mean, I do filter the salt water. So when I mix it down there, when I pump it up, before it goes into the drum, it goes through a very fine mesh filter sock just to take anything out that, might have come in with a salt or has got into the drum outside of it. So, I mean, it's clean as, really. So I find it hard to believe. But anyway, that is where we are. So, yeah, that's it, really. Fish are all good, so that's fine. Yeah, I lost a couple of frags. I mean, it's not massive in the grand scheme of things, is it? I had a very nice holiday. Was it worth a couple of frags? Yeah, it was, to be honest. So that's where we are. What else did I do? So if you remember, before I went away, I said that I've mixed up my A elements and I wanted to leave them in here to see whether I got any precipitation with mixing the 7 traces together. So I've mixed them in an order which should be good and looks clear as a bell in there. Yes, that's cool. Right, yeah, so that is ready really to test and start dosing on the tank. So once my current stock of A elements runs out, I will swap them over and see how we get on. I haven't actually worked out a cost for that. I mean, I said I spent about £100 on the traces. I've made up 5 litres. I've got enough, but I haven't worked out how much is left to see how many more of these I can make with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to make a minimum of 2 more, which will give me 3. So give me 15 litres, about 100 quid. So if I bought that, I think they're £130 each or something, these 5 litre ones. So it's not necessarily the reason why I did it. I just like doing stuff. But yeah, so now I've done the A's, I can slowly move across and start working on the K, really. Yes, I think that's where we are, really. So nothing too dramatic, really. It could have gone better, but, you know, could have gone a lot worse, I suppose. So, yes, that's where we are. So, yeah, I think that is about. I'm trying to think. I haven't been here, so I haven't really got much to say, have I? No, I can't think of anything else. Everything else worked fine, really. Yeah, that's it. I can't think else, guys. I can't think of anything. I did come in last night, actually, and one of the lights was on. It is actually the single light which is over that goni. But I find it hard to believe that if that light stayed on the whole time I was away at night, well, it didn't actually, because I checked the camera, but it might have been on for a few days, I guess. So I just unplugged it, replugged it, it reset, and it went back onto the schedule. I still don't understand why they just do that randomly, just one light, and just go, yeah, no, I'm going to drop off the schedule and do my own thing, thanks. But there we go. Right, so that's it, guys. So I think I will leave it there. Yeah, and nothing else. And I will see you. Oh, actually, I put a camera in the tank. So I bought a GoPro when I went diving. So I thought I might as well use it while I'm filming, won't I? So I've stuck it. I've got no idea whether that's going to work or not. I don't know if the fish has swum in front of it or not, to be honest. But I don't know whether the refraction will not show me outside the tank. But I just thought, novel idea. I'll give it a go. So I'll see how that turns out. Yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Right, that's it, guys. I will see you. Oh, this is going to go out, obviously, out of sync, because normally I put this out Wednesday. It's Friday today, because I didn't get back till Wednesday. Couldn't be just bothered Wednesday. I filmed the whole thing yesterday, and as you know, didn't turn the mic on again. I tried to use the audio from, I can't remember, either the Canon or one of the phones or the GoPro, I can't remember one. But the background noise in there is insane, really. And I run it through AI twice. And it made it better, but it's just annoying. So I've done the whole thing again today. If this mic's not on, I won't be laughing. So anyway, yeah. So right, I will see you next week. Have a good one.